So let's take a look at Solidworks. We're going to open up a brand new part, just like this, hit OK. And the first thing I want you to take a look at in this program is what sort of increments you're going to be working in. We have millimeters, metric system, or American, which is inches. Okay? I'm going to leave it in there. The next thing I want to talk about is I'm going to click on line and just sort of create a plane to draw on. Okay, it's going to ask you if you want to draw on the top plane, right plane, or front plane. Okay, now you can see right here I'm in a trimetric view. Okay, so you can see multiple angles of your part if it was in a three-dimensional space. But since we're working on two-dimensional drawings and we haven't even started yet, we need to get out of that and we need to straighten that out. Now we can straighten that out by clicking Z right here to straighten out this origin point, which is the 0, 0, 0 point. This is where X, Y, and Z come together to go to the 0, 0, 0 point. Or we can come up here and we can select this front plane and this will straighten out this 0, 0 point. Okay. Next, let's take a look at some of the things that are under the sketch tab here. Okay, you can create boxes. Okay, and all of these have more pull downs like center lines, midpoint, or regular line. Under circle, we have perimeter circle and regular circle, or we have splines. Okay, we even have hexagons in case you're trying to make a nut or a bolt. Okay, we have fillets here. Trim entities, which we'll get into. Convert entities is more for three-dimensional objects. Offset entities. Mirroring entities, which we use a lot of in here. And we have different things like linear sketch pattern and circular sketch pattern here. Okay. Now, if I put a line down and I don't like that line, I can always come up here and hit the Edit Undo button. Okay. I can additionally right-click this and hit Delete. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put a line down just to sort of show or indicate how to do so. I'm going to click a line and put it along this origin point. Okay. It instantly went black because it was connected to the origin point. Okay. I'm going to put another line down, and where many of you guys will speed up and go a little bit faster than usual, you'll have a line that's not completely straight up and down. Now you can change this by just deleting that line or hitting the Edit Undo line, or you can hit Control, click the line, and then make it go vertical. Okay, and you'll see that this relationship has changed right here with this line. Okay, however, it is not black because we don't know where in space this line starts, and we don't know how far away it is from the origin point, and we don't know how long this line is. Okay, so we can solve those two things by, these are just left clicking and assigning it to a particular point in space. Okay. Now this next line, even if it is straight, it's going to be blue as well. Okay. I hit escape to get out of line. Now, if a line is blue, we can manipulate these things. Okay. It is completely manipulatable until you assign a dimension to it, such as, we'll put in 0.5 here, and we'll put a dimension of 1.25 there, so 1 1/4 there. Okay, and everything is black now, and so I can't dimension or I can't manipulate that line at all. It's solid, it's concrete. Now if I right click the dimension, I can hit delete, and now again I can move that line. Okay, we're going to start with a brand new part here. File, new, part, hit OK. And down at the lower left-hand corner, you want to check off where it says IPS. You want to change this to millimeter, gram, and second. Okay. After you do that, you can go ahead and click line up at the very top left-hand corner. And I'm going to just choose a plane to draw on. So it says over here, select a plane on which to create a sketch or entity. We're going to choose front plane for this one. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and click Z to make this to go all the way straight. We can also choose whichever plane that we want to work on, which is the front place from here as well. So we're going to click that front plane. Okay, we're only going to do half of this drawing, and then we're going to mirror it across. So I'm going to start with, I'm going to show you guys how to do that. We're going to draw a center line right up the origin. Okay, go ahead and hit escape. And again, there's all kinds of various lines here. If you hit this little triangle, and there's regular line, there's center line, there's midpoint line. I rarely use midpoint line, but that's something that you could get into if you want to. Okay. We're going to go ahead and make this first line, which goes to 20 as a dimension. So we're going to cut that in half and go to about 10. Okay. I don't need to get this perfect because my smart dimension tool can make it perfect. Okay, so I'm going to type in 10 here. Again, smart dimension was right up there, and all I did was left click and then drag this down. Okay, after you guys get that set up, you're basically just sketching in the shape. Okay, so you're going to make a line that goes straight up and down here. Okay, and I'm going to be very aware of these little green icons. This means horizontal, and this means completely vertical or plumb. And we're going to make another horizontal line that kind of comes up like this and sort of comes out like this. And we're just sort of creating this outline. Now I'm zooming in and out with my mouse with the little ball or roller that's in the center of the mouse. And that's really helpful. Okay, we've got half the shape logged in here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go back into Smart Dimension tool and start to dimension all this stuff out. Now this goes to 20. Okay, so there'll be a little bit of change right there. And this line is going to go to 25. Okay. This line is going to go to 5. And let's see, from here to here is going to go to 25 because I'm cutting that 50 in half. And let's see, from here to here is going to be 5. Okay. And I'm going to hit double escape to get out of the Smart Dimension tool. And what we do is we have half the shape here. So we're going to go up to Mirror Entities at the very top. Okay. Remember, I'm in the Sketch tab right now. Mirror Entities. And what I'm going to do is left click and drag around the shape. Okay. And where I want to mirror about, I'm going to mirror about this center line that's right here. Hit the green check mark. And we have a finished shape right here. Okay. It's going to make an exact replica of what we have going on here on this side. Okay. Now, if all your lines are black, that means everything that you need is dimensioned, and we have a nice solid shape. Now, to turn in this project, okay, we need to go up to, because I'm going to have you guys required to turn in actual JPEGs. Okay, so I'm going to go to File. I'm going to hit Save As. Now, normally, if we're going to continue to work on this part, we'll just save it as a SolidWorks part or .sldprt part, okay? Now, these are the different types, and this is the routing of where that part's going to go to, okay? So, because I'm actually finished with this, and I know I don't need do any work to it, and it's a 10 out of 10, I'm going to actually just change this into a JPEG, okay? I'm going to call this part 1 2D, okay? And I've already created a drawings folder on my desktop, so I'm going to click that. So it's this PC, desktop, and then it goes into my drawings folder on the desktop. Okay, and so I'm going to hit open, and then I'm going to click save, and we are completed. That's in there. Sketch number 2, and it's sort of a box with another box inside of it, and I'm taking a look at it. It definitely has some symmetry going on. In fact, it's symmetrical in 2 different ways. We're gonna run everything across a center line and just do half of this drawing. So the first thing I need to do is take a look down here at my increments. Which one am I going to draw in? Now I'm going to change this into millimeter gram second for this one. Okay, so we click that and we're good. The next thing I want to do is come up to line and select a front plane, top plane, or right plane to draw on. I'm going to click front plane for this one. I'm also going to click Z right here to straighten this origin point out. Remember, everything needs to be working off of this origin point. That is incredibly important here. Or nothing will turn black, which means nothing's really connected to that 0, 0, 0 point in space. So I'm going to go ahead and start with a center line first. Okay. Hit escape, and we've got a nice center line in this space. Then we're going to go up to a regular line, and what I'm going to do is draw this line at 40. Now the line says it goes to 80, so we're going to draw this one out to 40 because it's only half of this line. And the first line that we draw is going to come right off of this origin point. Okay, and there. I'm close. I'm looking up here for this relation, this horizontal relation, and we are good. It is horizontal. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to smart dimension this first line at 40. So I change that. Beautiful. We have our first line. Now it's important to get that first line in with a dimension because all the other lines are sort of connected to that first line, and we can sort of gauge how big the rest of our lines are going to be based on that. So I'm going to go ahead and draw this tab that comes up, and this drawing sort of comes in a little bit like this, and I think this line goes straight up, and I'm going to wait for this little leader line to kind of come across and connect with this point, and I'm going to push that across just like that. Okay, everything's horizontal, everything's vertical. I'm double checking my lines. It's very easy to make a mistake if you rush through that part. Okay, the next thing I want to do, and this is going to be a new skill, is I'm going to hold Control, click this line, click this line. I'm still holding Control, and I can let it off now. And what I want to do is make this line in sync with this line right here. Okay, and to do that, after I've hit Control and clicked both of those lines, I can hit collinear. What that's going to do is run a dashed line that connects these 2 lines. Okay, and the nice thing about that is this line is going to go black too. Okay, so this line is at 40 from here to here. Okay, along with this line. So you only have to dimension it once, which makes things a little bit more simple. So I'm going to go ahead and smart dimension my next set of lines, and that is, this one is at 10. Okay, so a little change right there. This one comes out to 30. Uh-oh, what do we have going on here? I'm going to hit double escape. Now you have a lot more of this if you don't dimension the first line. Okay, but since we did dimension the first line, this is going to be a fairly easy fix. It's only one line that we can push up like that. Okay, now anything that's blue can still be changed. Okay, you can still manipulate anything that's blue. Now this black line, it's locked in place because it's got this collinear dashed line connecting it. Anything that's blue is still manipulatable. Okay, let's see. What do we need for this next line? We need to dimension another 10 right here. Okay, 10. Beautiful. And this line is blue right here because we don't know how far away this line is in space from this origin center line here. So let's take a look at the drawing. So it's 15 plus 10, so that would be 25. I just have to do a little bit of math here. 25. Check. Okay, everything's black, but we still need that inside box that comes in here. So I'm going to go ahead and go back into my sketch tools, and I'm just sort of roughing out this inside box right here. Okay? And let's see. Smart dimension from here to here is going to be 15 according to the drawing. Okay? And this next one from here to here is going to be 20. Okay? And from here to here is going to be 15. Green check mark. Everything is black. At this point, I'm ready to mirror my drawing across the center line, just like so. Click mirror about this center line. Green check mark up on top. And we have a nice finished drawing here. Now it is shaded sketch contours. You can turn this on and off. So if yours isn't like that, maybe this just needs to be clicked. It's up to you. It doesn't matter if it is clicked or not as far as this drawing goes. I'm going to leave it click. I like it clicked. And I'm going to go ahead and file, save as. Since this one's done, again, if we were going to work on this more, we would leave this as a SolidWorks part so I can pick up where I'm at tomorrow, and I would just save it like that. But since this is finished and I'm going to turn this in later on in this course, I'm going to go ahead and turn it into a JPEG to turn in for me. Okay, so part 2, and we'll call this 2D. And now this is going to go this PC desktop drawings. And I'm going to go ahead and save it. And we are done with that drawing. Okay, let's get started with sketch number 3. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is change this to millimeters. The next thing I'm going to do is click line up here, click a plane to draw on. I'm going to go ahead and click Z to make this in the front view. Okay, and I'm going to decide on where I want to put my origin point in relation to this part. The first thing I'm going to do is click circle. I think the circles are going to be the midpoint for where this origin point is going to be. So we have a diameter of 30, which would be a radius of, what, 15, right? Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and click this again. And the next one is a radius of 30. So we'll go ahead and smart dimension these. And this first one is going to be at 60, my outside circle. And the next one is going to be at 30. Okay, wonderful. Both of those lines have gone black. Another good thing to do would be to run a center line right down through my circles. Okay, and make sure that that touches on the origin point. Now we broke up our circle into quadrants, which will be really healthy or really smart for when we have to trim these circles up. So I'm going to go ahead and draw this line that kind of comes down like that. It's sort of, the shape sort of comes across, it goes in, kind of comes up a little bit. Again, I'm going to zoom out a little bit with my mouse. And come across, wait for that little leader line, and we've got our shape. Okay. Now the nice thing about both of these lines is it inferred relations of this line being tangent with this circle. Sometimes you have to control click this line and control click this circle and make it go tangent. Okay, so that's a very important skill to be able to have here in the future. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and trim out this circle here. Boosh. Boom. Circle's trimmed. And the next thing I want to do is start to dimension everything I need to have to make this all go black. So that line from there to there is going to be at 40. Okay. And I'm already noticing that this line is not keeping up with this line. Okay. So let's go ahead and dimension this line. That's at 20. And we're hit double escape to get out of smart dimension. I'm going to hit control, control, and make those two lines collinear. Okay. And now the length of this from here to here is going to be 150. So we're going to go back up and we're going to left click smart dimension. I'm going to click on this line. I'm going to click on this line, pull it down, and we've got 150 to throw in here for dimension of that. A little bit of movement that happened there. From here to here is dimension at 35. Click that in there. From here to here, it's going to come up to 25. And let's see, one more dimension. This dip right here is, or this slot right here is just too deep. So we're going to go from here to here. Uh-oh. If it says it's driven, that means we have too many dimensions. Okay. So I must have messed up at some point here. So I'm going to hit cancel. And okay, so something right here is actually, this circle is connected. If this line were to continue to go on, it is connected with this circle. And I don't know how that actually happened, but it's this little symbol right here, or relation that's been added to this line, that has connected it. So what I'm going to do is right click this line. Let me delete it. It's not going to let me delete it. Okay, there we go. And a double escape to delete that. Okay, there's no relationship that's added to that now. So we're going to go from here to here, and we're going to change that to 5. Okay, there's drawing number 3 for you. Okay, let's get started with drawing number 4. As we look at it, it's very symmetrical in shape. So it's also got a circle in the center. So my strategy will be to put my origin point concentric with those circles, and to use that center line to mirror my shape across that center line. So we got a new drawing here. First thing I'm going to do is change this to millimeters here, and I'm going to click line. I'm going to draw on the front plane again and hit Z to straighten this out. And we have center line selected. I think I do. Yep. Okay. And we're just going to run a center line right down through. Escape. Center line again. Right down through. Okay. Both of those lines are black because they do run through that origin point. And we'll go ahead and start with our circles first. Okay. The inside circle is going to be a diameter of 60. So judging by the R, we can go to 30 for that. And my next circle is going to be an R45. Okay, that's pretty close. I'm going to go ahead and smart dimension that those circles. Okay, 60, and R45 would be a 90 for a diameter. Okay. So we got all that stuff dimensioned here, and I'm going to pull right off of this quadrant point a vertical line that sort of comes down like this. I'm not sure how far it goes out. Not really paying too much attention, because I'm going to come back through and smart dimension. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. And I'm going to go ahead and start to do my smart dimensioning now. Okay. From one side to the other is going to be, half of this is going to be 125. So I'm just going to get my overall dimension in at 125. Okay, that sort of pushed it. I'm going to double escape and just, since this line's blue, I can still manipulate it. Okay, we're looking good. Smart dimension here, this little footer is at 25 millimeters. Okay. Let's see, and that is actually 3 for that little piece right here. Okay, what's the next dimension here? We'll go from here to here. So I'll pull up the smart dimension again, and that's going to go to 20. And we also have this dimension from here to here. So the bottom of the foot up to that center line is going to be at 70. Green check mark. Everything is turned black. We can pull this right to the center line. There's also some fillets. Okay, those are little rounds. They rounded off the corners a little bit, and it says R4 typical, okay, or TYP. The TYP means typical. So I'm going to click up here under fillet, and I'm going to change my parameters to 4, okay. And what I'm going to do is just kind of select these two, and I believe the other fillet is right there. Green check mark, and we got our R4s in. Okay, so we got our little rounds that are in there. So everything is ready to go ahead and mirror now. I always make sure that all my lines are black before I do any mirroring. So I'm going to do ahead mirror, and what I'm going to do is just hit a left click, drag that box around the entire object where it says mirror about. I want to click this center line that's right here, green check mark, and we have a nice looking drawing here. So I'm going to go ahead and trim the entities. Now this is a brand new one. Okay, so see this little gray line? Anything that it touches, it's going to trim it up until the next intersection point. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that, and we don't have the rest of that circle to worry about. And the drawing looks like it's finished. Okay, so you can save that like your other ones. Save it as a JPEG if it's completely finished, or save it as a .SLD PRT if you need to work on it the next class. Okay, we're getting ready to do sketch number 5 now. We've come down here and we've changed this to millimeter gram second. We're going to click on front plane here. I'm going to go ahead and line this up so everything's straightened out with the origin point, and we are in our front view. Okay, the first thing I want to do, and this one's a little bit of the trickier ones, we're going to lay out a center line because we're going to mirror this part off of that center line. And we're going to start with the circle. Well, I guess there's many places we can start here, but let's see here. I think we will start with that end of the circle right here. So that one says a diameter of 12, if you're following along here. That's a radius. So a diameter of 12 would be what? 6 radius. Okay. And we need another circle. What's the next circle? It says R10. Okay. So a little bit bigger. We'll go ahead and smart dimension these. That'll go to 20. And that will go to 12. Okay. And let's see, we need to have some more center lines sort of put in place. Okay. I like working a lot of center lines on this particular drawing since there's so many circles involved in this one. It sort of helps lay out where these circles are going to go. Okay. All right, let's get started here. So this first line could be over here. And what we'll do is we'll smart dimension this line at 80. Okay, we went a little bit far with this one, so it's going to be coming up quite a bit. And that's going to be the end of the drawing. Okay, so I misjudged that one a little bit, but that's all right. I can left click and drag all this stuff into a better place. Okay, just like that. And so that line's at 80. And let's see here. We will draw another line to get this sort of perimeter going up here. And from this line's going to move a lot too, I think. That's going to go to 30. Okay. And I think I'm going to move these sort of down a little bit more, just so it's more in the vicinity of where it needs to go. Okay. And now this first center line needs to go over 10. Okay. And this next center line needs to go over 30. Okay. And the next one, this main center line that comes down through here, that's going to be over 20 from this base perimeter line that we have going on here. Okay. And then we can start to lay out where we're at. Okay. We need to figure out where this next center line that comes through here would be located. Okay, so there's certainly a circle that's based right here, and since the other sides are 20, 20, and this overall dimension from here to the other edge is 60, I could put a circle in at the radius of 10. Okay, so we got the radius in there. We're going to go ahead and smart dimension that. That's a diameter of 20. Okay, and we could pull straight off of this quadrant a line. Okay, and based on that, we can go ahead and dimension from here to here at 10. Okay, that moved everything just a little bit. And then we have our center points for our next circles. So we have a circle that goes in here at 10, another one at 10. And so we need to label those let's see, does that, oh, that is 10. Okay. Okay. You know what? I'm going to show you guys a trick. Let's delete this one. Okay, it's blue now. What I'm going to do is hit Control on this circle and Control on this circle. And I'm going to make these two circles equal to each other. And when I do that, it takes away, because there's a lot of dimensions going on in here, and I really need to like clean this up a little bit. Notice how I go big or small dimensions to bigger dimensions. That's really kind of important to think about when you're organizing your dimensions. To just kind of like, I mean, you don't need anything like scattered about super far away. You know, you want to make everything sort of legible. Okay, things are looking really good right now. And let's see, the last thing we really need to do here is go from here to here, and that's going to be at 40. Okay, and we'll need a line that sort of connects. Now, if you look at that line, it's also very tangent. There's no like weird dip that goes on in here. So what we need to do is sort of move this little pencil so that you see that tangent symbol come up on that circle. And I see it right now. That's what that circle and that little line right there. So I'm good on that. Now if it wasn't, okay, let's back out. If I didn't get that line to go tangent, say I got it like that, okay? Hit escape here. I'm gonna hit Control on this line, Control on this circle, and what I'm gonna do is force it to go tangent, like that, okay? So I'm gonna add that relationship. Okay, so since everything is looking like it's all black, what I can do is go ahead and go Mirror Entities, and I'm going to left click and drag this box around the shape right there. I'm going to click Mirror About. I'm going to mirror about this black center line here, green check mark, and what I have is a drawing that looks exactly like the drawing, only I just need to trim some stuff out. So we did this on the last drawing where I'm going to start to trim some things out. Okay, and here we go. We're continuing to trim some things out. We may have to get up here and do a little bit of detail work. Okay, I'm just zooming in and out with my mouse here. Okay, double escape to get out of that. And I'm just going to snug up a couple of my dimensions here. I don't love that dimension where it's at. Let's get that up in there. You know, let's move that into a legible spot. Okay, and your drawing's done. You can go ahead and save that.